Today we're going to be using the only thing that you guys need to complete the unstable rift the absolute easiest way that you can. No, unfortunately it's not the ray gun. I really wish it was. It's actually going to be the Scorcher. Now I know that most of you guys probably already know that you can use the Scorcher to kind of ride out the rounds and wait for the boss zombies to spawn in, but usually we only use this thing to kind of bypass that time. Now that the RGL with Deadwire detonators has been somewhat nerfed so that we can't take out these bosses really easily, the Scorcher might just be next up in line for doing not only a bunch of damage to these bosses, but also clearing out the zombies and keeping you off the ground. So maybe if you guys are running low on stuff in the stash, or even stuff that you can craft from your schematics, maybe you can come in here with the absolute bare minimum and reset everything. Also, I've still been seeing a bunch of comments of people saying that they've been having a hard time getting this done, so if you have access to a Scorcher, this could be a really easy way for you guys to knock this out. With that, welcome on back to the channel, everybody. If y'all don't know, my name is Ghost. I appreciate everybody that stops by the video today. If you're into zombies content or anything Call of Duty, rock the hell out of that like button for me and subscribe to the channel. Guys, we're getting so much closer to that 20,000 subscriber goal, and I cannot thank you guys enough for all the crazy support lately. Can't wait to get into everything about this run and this crazy strategy after a brief word from today's sponsor. If you guys want to unlock the new Mark of the Survivor camo, or possibly even any of those get higher camos here in Modern Warfare 3, and you really just don't have the time to put in to get these challenges done, well then be sure to check out Midge Cactus. They're the biggest and most reliable sellers with heaps of brand new offerings for MW3, with completely safe and legitimate services for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. And with all the great reviews on Trustpilot, you guys should definitely check them out. Be sure to use code REALG for 5% off your entire order for a limited time only. And when I decided to make this video today, I actually was going to come in here like you guys saw with the ray gun. I wanted to test it out in here and just see what kind of damage that it was doing, not only against the zombies, but also against the bosses, and it's not great. Now I know I probably should have already expected this, just considering the ray gun's been kind of poopy in Modern Warfare Zombies ever since the launch of this game. It's just honestly such a shame what they did to that weapon, and hey, you know what? A man can dream, can he? Stealth changed things in this game all the time. I was maybe just hoping maybe the ray gun would be doing like some crazy damage against the bosses or something, but nah. I do know that completing this rift with only the Scorcher is possible because I've seen some other YouTubers do it, like Spazo and whatnot. So I figured, what the hell, since this ray gun is literally taking about 3 shots to kill a single zombie in here, so this thing isn't going to be doing nothing, we might as well just go ahead and try to complete this thing basically only using the Scorcher. Now we did set up a few sentry guns, which definitely did help me out. I would advise you guys, if you are going to be coming into the unstable rift no matter what, at least bring in like 2 sentry guns just to kind of help you out. I really would advise you to save them though for rounds 4 and 5. Bosses that are going to be coming out through phases 1 through 3, I'm sorry I said rounds, I'm just so used to round based. Those first 3 bosses that come out during those first 3 phases should be relatively easy. After completing each phase, that reward rift will most likely grant you with some score streaks, and hopefully you get some sentry guns. Now the zombies will try to destroy these things pretty damn fast, I mean especially if you put them out too early during the phase, but usually actually wait for the boss to spawn in, and then once he's actually like walking around in the map, I'll drop down, throw a decoy, set up my sentry gun, and that'll help me out. Now of course you can just stay up in the sky with the Scorcher and kind of cheese it a little bit, just kind of ride out these rounds, but once those bosses spawn in, you have to drop down and try to kill those guys as quickly as possible. You guys are on a time limit, and I haven't seen what happens when it runs out, but I bet you it ain't pretty. Once you drop down to kill these bosses, it is a little bit of a balancing act. For those main 2 top ledges on each side of the map that you'll see me land on a lot, those are going to be the ledges that you probably should want to shoot for, because zombies don't really like to pile up there, but they will go up there. Just be sure to watch your back, and also if you float in the sky for too long on one side, they could pile up over there like on that side of the roof, so just be careful. Staircases are definitely your friends. The zombies are just going to get kind of like jam-packed in there, and they're not going to be able to kind of move through. They're all just going to kind of get stuck in like a traffic jam. A lot of times your boss is going to get stuck in there with them, and that's going to be an excellent opportunity to just beam those guys with your Scorcher, because this thing will just eat through almost all of them. Crowd control that this gun actually has is pretty damn crazy. The only thing is that you're going to want to watch how much charge that this thing has, because you really don't want to run out, get overrun with zombies, and get put down. Basically always leave yourself just enough in your Scorcher that you can actually scorch up in the sky and get away from any danger. Once you get up into the sky again, you can reset on the other side of the map, and then that's going to give you a little bit of time to actually build up a little bit more charge in your Scorcher. I have heard some people saying that this is one of the harder ways to get the unstable rift done, but I don't know, from my experience over the last few days, I've tried quite a few ways to get this thing done, and this seemed like one of the easier easiest. One, you really don't have to be like switching weapons all the time. It's one of the things about like using the RGL with something else as like a strategy. I would find myself getting caught up switching weapons sometimes. Unless you're using something that is like absolute meta right now, like the shotgun, most things have a really hard time killing that last phase 5 boss. When I say shotgun, I mean the Reclaimer 18 right now. That thing is just nuts in Modern Warfare Zombies. Overall, I'm kind of glad that things actually worked out this way, because now I know that, hey, I can come in here with absolutely nothing but a Scorcher and completely reset and cool down all of my schematics easily. This is something I'm kind of surprised that they haven't patched a little bit in like some sort of a way, like put a cap on the ceiling, or maybe like something, I don't know, like maybe like an out of map glitch if we go too high. I'm not saying that I want them to do something like this, but it just kind of seems like something that they would do. Hell, we only had the dead wire detonators and the RGL only worked in here on that boss for like, what, a week? Maybe they'll let us keep it, because even just coming back down to deal with the bosses and like all the hordes of zombies, each time that you come back down, it is definitely a fight. If you don't have the Scorcher or the RGL, staying alive on the ground in here, I mean throughout all phases, like almost damn near impossible. I have gotten to the end of phase 5 with just the Wunderwaffe before, and maybe I can complete it doing that someday, but I gotta say that boss at the end, he does not take very much damage from the Wunderwaffe at all. Which really doesn't make any sense to me at all, because like the disciples are like weak to electricity, and like dead wire usually works really well on them, and for some reason like a weapon that is completely based off of electricity really just doesn't do anything to them at all. Just, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, if you guys have like a go-to weapon that you like to bring in here, I have seen a couple other videos also of people like bringing the sledgehammer in here. I think Lego just did that. Overall, I gotta say, if you are a solo player, this is probably one of the easiest ways that you can get this thing done. Would definitely advise you guys, if you are solo, like definitely be rocking Aether Strat to get you out of those sticky situations. So you will find yourself in quite a few of them, and it will definitely save your ass. If you do have sentry guns set up, I would advise you also to put them up on like the railings up on the walls. The bosses will follow you up there, and if you're hitting them with the sentry gun and the Scorcher at the same time, it's going to be doing a lot of damage. If the sentry guns are down at the bottom, like in the open part of the room, then the sentry guns are going to be so focused on like all of the zombies that are going to be everywhere, they're just going to be shooting, you know, absolutely every which way that they can, where if they're up there on that wall, they're pretty much just going to be aiming down that path. You guys are going to see coming up here, I did end up going down once during this run, and I really honestly thought it was just completely all over, because I actually went down as soon as I started to scorch up into the sky, so I was down and I was still going up. I ended up pretty high in the sky, just downed, and I fell a really long ways, and thank God they actually ended up patching this, because I survived the fall. One of my most popular shorts on the channel here, it actually has like 200,000 views or something like that, of me getting down as soon as I scorched up into the sky and I fell to my death. That's really what I thought was gonna happen again, but thank God they ended up patching this thing. It really would have been it for me. I would have probably just turned the game off and been like, nope, I'm done for the day. I don't know if you guys also heard the rumors about Season 5 being the last season of content for Modern Warfare Zombies. We're gonna end up seeing our last story mission, our last Dark Aether, and possibly a couple last schematics. My hopes for the end of Modern Warfare Zombies is at least a nice, big, decent last final boss. I think that would be really cool. If you guys could add one thing to Modern Warfare Zombies, or if you could change one thing before they end up sending this game off, what would that be? I would love to know down in the comments. And if we are supposedly seeing our final couple schematics, what would be like your dream schematic? I know this might sound kind of wild, but I wish that we had a schematic to where if we equipped a wonder weapon and if we equipped this schematic, it would allow us to actually change our wonder weapon in between the 4 wonder weapons that we have in the game. Just imagine you wanted to take a Scorcher into one of the Dark Aethers just so you could fly around and get the contracts done really easily, but when it came to the ACV contract, you could just turn it into the VR11 so you could get that done easily. I know that one's kind of wild and probably not even possible, but I did have another idea about like with the field upgrades. I think if we had a schematic that made it so our field upgrades cooled down like twice as fast, I think that would be really cool. That is going to be about it, guys. Thank you everybody who checked out the video. I greatly do appreciate it. We were able to complete this thing with basically only the Scorcher. We did have the ray gun, but let's be honest, it didn't really do anything. Please drop a like on the video if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if anybody is new. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one.